Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Hazel and I'm coming to you from Wales in the United Kingdom. Excuse me if my camera's a bit skew-whiff, but I'm still recording upside down. It doesn't seem to want to record me the right way up at the moment, so I'm still trying to find my way recording upside down. And today I'm back in the kitchen and back in the garden because it's absolutely gorgeous here today. The weather is amazing here today. We've had about 3 or 4 days of rain and it was a bit miserable and I didn't want to get in the garden. I'm still in my big jumper because I'm still feeling a bit cold, but yeah, the weather's beautiful today. The sun's out, can't see a cloud in the sky. The swallows are about flitting about, tweeting away. The sheep have been passed, and yeah, it's just a really nice lazy summer's day again finally. So yeah, it doesn't feel like autumn today, it feels a little bit more like summer. So I've come back out into the garden and I've got a few jobs I want to do in the garden. I've got some potatoes to plant, I've got some courgettes to harvest, I've got kale to harvest, I've got some mint to harvest. I need to sort my tomatoes out. If it dries up enough I need to cut the grass and I'll let that dry and then pop that on the beds. Give the chickens some of that because I don't put any fertilisers or weed killer on my grass. I just let it grow and let it do its thing. And then I've got some jobs in the house to get on with. There's a few raspberries to pick, and if I can get all those jobs done then I will be going out for a walk for my tea time walk this evening as well. So I want to go and gather some heather. And as soon as it's been dry enough today, I think that the heather will be nice and dry for me to go and pick. So yeah, I've got a very busy day planned, but I'm going to show you a little bit around the garden, what I've got to go in and what I've got to pick. I also have jobs in the kitchen to do. I've got marmalade to make, I've got jam to make, I've got my eggs to sort out because I want to put them into plastic buckets. I've got peaches, nectarines, sorry, to put into jars for storage for the winter, and some plums to sort out, and some mushrooms to sort out. So far I've done some eggs, some dehydrating, some jam and some marmalade. So yeah, I've already boiled up some blackberries that I picked the other day, that I picked about, gosh, 2 big boxes, probably about 4 litres of blackberries. So they've gone in a pan with some apples, and I'm going to go and see if I can get some more when I go looking for the heather later. So as you can see, I've got a lot to do today. Yeah, there's a lot going on here today, but yeah, I'm not a fully fledged homestead. I'm just a little run-of-the-mill vegetable gardener with blackberries around me and black currants and things like that grow wild. So I'm just going to make the most of what there is around here. So yeah, I hope you enjoy today's programme and today's vlog, and if you do, please do like and subscribe, and I'll leave you with the garden and kitchen. The first job is to go and let the hens out. There they are, patiently waiting to come out. Well, they think they're patient anyway. Morning girls, are we coming out? Come and enjoy the sun. 1, 2, 3, 4. As they fall out, straight to the grass. That's their little house. We've had eggs this morning. We've had 6 eggs this morning from 4 hens, so there must have been 2 there left from yesterday. The little white one, the little white fluffy bum, she's a little Houdini and she likes to escape. So I have to have a high enough fence so she can't jump over. So that's the reason for this chicken wire. Right, that's the hens out. So let's go and have a look at the veg garden. Look at those pretty daisies, very pretty. This flower border's not looking too bad now, it's got a bit of colour in it. There's a few dye plants in there coming through. That yellow is Dyer's Weld, that's the name of it. It's Dyer's Weld, I think. This one here is Coreopsis. This one here, if I get out of the way, is Tansy. That's fairly new to the garden last year, and it didn't grow very well last year, but it's doing well this year. This one here is Rudbeckia, which is absolutely beautiful this year. And these phlox here are nearly finished. So yeah, I've got quite a bit going on in this border now. Let's go down to the veg garden. This is my greenhouse. And in my greenhouse today, I also need to water the tomatoes with some feed. Because I don't know if you can see down there, but there's some beautiful tomatoes. So I need to try and get rid of some of these leaves to let in the sun so they can ripen. But yeah, the tomatoes are looking great. But there's an awful lot of leaf in here, which is blocking out the sunlight, so they've done extremely well. They've been kind of self-watering, they've not needed watering. But yeah, I need to sort them out. Look at that lovely feverfew, very nice. And my Gertrude Jekyll rose, very pretty, very pretty. So this is my passion flower, which has done extremely well. This one here, passion flower, it's very pretty. I've quite a few flowers. This is my dino kale, which not my dino kale, my walking stick kale. She's doing really well. It has had caterpillars. It has had caterpillars. Ooh, look at those lovely raspberries in there. Look at those. Very nice. Look at these. Lovely raspberries. They're huge. Look at that. Very nice. I've got some more mint that I want to pick as well to dry for the winter. These are my Jerusalem artichokes. I've cut the tops off so it puts all its strength into producing the tubers. I harvested my parsnip seeds the other day, so they've gone. I've got these to harvest, which is my Russian kale. I need to harvest those seeds because it does self-seed quite prolifically, which I don't mind, but I don't want them all over the garden. And I've got cobs now we've had all that rain. And I've also got my courgettes to sort out because they're starting to rot for some reason. I think it's been a bit too wet these last couple of days, so I need to sort them out as well. My outdoor tomatoes, I haven't got any fruit on yet, but they're not doing too bad. I've got flowers. I've got 1 or 2 fruits down there. Let's have a look. Where are they? Oh, look. I've got 1 or 2 fruits here on that one. Look at that lovely cabbage all of a sudden. Now the caterpillars have finished. And I've still got my potatoes that I want to put in for the winter in their bag. I haven't managed to get round to it. I've got kestrel and I've got Duke of York. And they're nice and green in there. So, and I've also in my fruit cage some black currants still to pick. So I'm going to pick those as well. So I've got quite a lot to get on with, but we'll just go in the house and I'll show you what I've got to get on with in the house today as well. So we've got a very busy day. Yeah. Right, okay, so this is what we've got going on in the kitchen today. I've got all these things to sort out. I was given these apples by a friend last weekend and she's taken them off her apple tree that she needed to prune away from the driveway. Unfortunately though, they're so immature and tart that they're not really suitable as eating apples. So what I've done is I've prepared half of them and I popped them in this pot with the blackberries that I picked the other day. So they're local blackberries, they're 100% organic, so I'm going to make apple and blackberry jam with those. which will be organic because the apples are organic and the blackberries are organic. I've also got these mushrooms to prepare for the dehydrator. I'm going to put half in the dehydrator and keep half for cooking. I've got these beautiful Victoria plums, which I found in Tesco's yesterday. They were 79p a punnet. And due to my intermittent fasting that I'm doing still, I'm not eating any solid food, and they're not suitable for putting in smoothies or juicing. They're far too nice. So I've decided I'm going to put these in jars and can them and keep them for the winter and maybe make a crumble with them in the winter. So that's what I'm doing with those. I've also got my eggs to sort out because I'm finding keeping them in the glass jars is making them crack. The hens don't mind because they're getting the ones that have cracked, but I just don't want to waste the eggs. So I was looking online as to how to water glass eggs, and they were saying to store them in plastic buckets because it doesn't put so much pressure on the eggs, and you can store more in a row and not have to fill the bucket up as much. So I'm going to use these buckets that have had mayonnaise in. I've had them for a few years. I did used to use them for dry storage, but they've got a couple of cracks in the lid, and I just think they'll be more suitable for the eggs. And then I'm going to keep them on a shelf and I won't have to move them until I'm going to use them. So I've got 4.5 jars. Each of these is a 2 litre jar. So yeah, I've got about 15 or 16 eggs in each jar and about 10 in this one. So I'm going to pop them in 2 of these buckets. I have got more if I need them, but I'm going to try just 2 for now. The other thing I'm going to be doing is some marmalade. I use these Made jars, cans of Seville oranges. You get them in any supermarket and they're about £2.49 a tin, and it makes £6 of marmalade in 30 minutes. And all you have to do is add the sugar, add a little bit of butter when you're boiling to bring it up to the boiling point, and that just dispels any froth that's on the top. So I've got that to do. I've got all the apple skins off some apples that I used last week in my apple and plum jam, and they're browning nicely now. So I'm going to make some apple cider vinegar with them. According to Doug and Stacey, they say to let the skins go brown and then use them to make the apple cider vinegar. So I've left them for a few days now, so they should be about ready. And these nectarines here as well, I'm going to slice them up and I'm going to put them in jars as well, ready for the winter to use in the winter. So yeah, these nectarines again were 79p in Tesco's, and I got 2 punnets and I've got 10 nectarines. So I think if I slice these and pop them in some water, pop them in some jars, and yeah, they'll keep for a few months in the jars. So that's my plans in the house today. As you've seen, I've got a few jobs that I want to do outside. So yeah, that's a lot of work to get done today towards my Every Bit Counts challenge. I may not get it all done today, but I'm sure I'll get a lot of it done today. Okay, so I'm just sorting out my eggs, taking them out of this jar, and I'm just checking them over for cracks. That isn't a crack, by the way, that's light reflecting on the egg. So I'm just checking and inspecting each one just to make sure there's no cracks before I transfer them into the bucket. They do all seem to be okay because I checked them at the weekend last weekend, and I took a few eggs out of the jar because they cracked. These are unwashed, they've not been washed, these are all clean, and they've gone in clean and unwashed. So I'm going to do this with all 5 of my jars, check them over, and I'm transferring them into the plastic bucket. So these ones in this jar seem absolutely fine. So I've got my clean bucket here, it does have a lid. So all I'm going to do is shake up the lime to release it from the bottom of the jar, and pour it into my bucket. I'm just going to pour a little bit of water into. I've just poured a little bit of water in to get the rest of the lime, and I'm popping it in the bucket. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pop these back in, and they say to have them so that they're nose up. Now I can never get my eggs to stand up, so I think the main thing is just that they're in the lime really. Maybe once I've got a whole row, maybe then I can stand them up, but they'll just roll round all over the place. But yeah, I think the main thing is that they're in. They may stand up once they're all in. Seem to be standing up a little bit better. I don't want to squash them in. I want them to have a little bit of breathing space. So that's one row. I'm going to do another row. So I'm going to get a lot more in this one. So what I'm going to do is, I won't show you now, but I'm going to mix up some more lime in my jar. It's one weighted ounce of lime, not tablespoons, but you weigh it out on the scales, to 1 quart or 1 litre of water. And I think I'm going to need another litre to fill this bucket. And I do think I'm going to get 2 jars of eggs in, but I think I'm just going to do a jar and a half in each bucket, because I don't want to pack them in and find that they crack and have too much weight. So yeah, I'm going to get on with that, and when I come back I will show you what I've done with the rest of my produce, and we'll have a catch up on the bench in the garden. So yeah, I'll just carry on with my eggs and then we'll meet back on the bench. Right, welcome back to the bench. I hope you enjoyed having that little look of my garden and the little look in my kitchen. And I think that's it for today. If you do like my video, please do like and subscribe, and please do give me a thumbs up and hit that notification bell, and that will tell you when I share new videos. And yeah, I'm going to do another video probably next week now, because we're coming up to the weekend, and I'm not going to be doing much else. Once the dehydrator's set up today and once all my canning's done, that's going to be it for today. So I'm going to go out for a walk later on and go and gather some heather for the dye pot, and see if I can find some more blackberries, because I want some for the freezer for my smoothies. So yeah, I think that's it for today. As I say, please do like and subscribe, please do hit the thumbs up, and please do feel free to share my videos on any of your social media if you like what you see. So yeah, thank you to my new subscribers, and thank you to my returning viewers for coming back and seeing my channel, and I will see you next week. So have a great weekend, and bye for now. Bye.